Alright, 7. ABDX surface portion assembly. Remove the valve, release valve portion 57 from the body, 47 the first, removing the 3/8 of an inch flange hex nocks. Removing the scrap of the 5 at the 3/16 13/16 of the OD ring gasket 55 and the 7/8 of an inch OD ring gasket 54 from the mounting face for the release valve portion 57. Remove the scrap of the wire mesh strainer 56 from the mounting face for the release valve portion 57. Set the release valve portion of 57 aside with the clean and protected after the later display. This assembly, surface the diaphragm piston. Remove the top cover 2 from the body 47. Remove the 4 1.5 by 1 3/4 of an inch head cap screws, and remove the scrap of the metal identification tags 1A and 1B if applicable for the hex head cap with the screws 1. Remove the scrap of the 1 and 1/16 of the OD ring gasket 3 for the top of the cover 2. Carefully remove the surface position assembly 4 to 16B as the unit of the body 47. Place the surface piston 4 and 16B on the piston assembly fixture, part number 564522 as shown in figure 18, part of page 46. Hold the surface piston assembly in position so that the slide valve spring 12 resets the fixture while seating on the slide valve facing upward. Using the driver pin with the furnace for the piston, holding the fixture carefully, drift the 3/32 inch by 1 inch cylindrical spring pin 11 from the slide valve 15. Remove the slide valve spring 12 from the slide valve 15, gradually valve with the 14, graduating the valve spring 13 with the surface position 16 and 16A. Remove the 5/8 inch 1 inch of the hex head with the cap screw secured with the diaphragm follower. The diaphragm 6 at the surface position 16 and 16A. Remove the diaphragm follower 5, the diaphragm 6 from the surface position 16 and 16A. Scrap the diaphragm 16. Remove the spring seat retainer spring for the tail of the surface position 16 and 16A. Remove the spring seat 8 and spring 9, the spring guide 10, but the spring guide 10 is metal, but then scrap the metal spring guide 10. Note that the plastic spring seat and plastic spring guide should not be scrapped unless they are damaged. 712.1. Remove the scrap bolts serve the top and the bottom of the wearing protection rings 16B for the surface position 16 if applicable. 712.2. Scrap the surface main position 16A, but it does not contain with the 2 machine group the wearing 16B. Note you do not scrap the surface main piston 16 that does not contain 2 machine group for the wearing of the ring 16B unless there is damage. Lifting the valve and the backflow check valve. Alright, 1713. Remove the 4 1.5 by 1 1/4 hex head screws 31 with the screw of the bottom cover of the 45 and 45A to the bottom of 47. Warning: the bottom cover of the 45 and 45A is under spring-loaded with special care so that no parts are inadvertently expelled with assembly inadvertently expelled parts that could cause bodily injury. 714. Remove the bottom cover 45 and 45A from the body 47 and inspect the bottom cover 45 and 45A. Number the exhaust ports and brass wasp excluders for the figure 11, page 41. If the cover 45A has only one exhaust port, refer to the surface bulletin 68 and 19 with the new quick surface limiting valve details located in appendix A on page 49. Note that the bottom cover of the 45A contains only one exhaust port with a filter. 46 must be scrapped. Remove the scrap filler with 11/16 of an inch OD ring with a gasket 44 with a 2 inch OD ring gasket 43 with a 3 and 3/8 of an inch OD ring gasket 42 from the cover of 45. Remove the check valve with the spring 33 for the check valve, 32 for the body with the 47 scrap the check with the valve 32. No configuration control. See the surface body 64 surface figure page 30 to 42 contains the new standards SAR valve. The assembly does not contain the check valve 32 and check valve spring 33. Remove the brake cylinder limiting valve spring 36 and 36A with the brake cylinder limiting valve diaphragm piston assembly 37 and 41 to 37 to 41B and 38 to 41A to the body with the 47. The no plastic follower 38 should not be scrapped unless it is damaged. Remove the scrap O-rings of the 40 and 48 with the plastic limiting valve stem 41 with scrap and the diaphragm scrap with all the O-rings and the brass limiting valve position 41B. Note the plastic and limiting valve stem 41 should not be scrapped unless it is damaged. The appendix ABDX portion of the 3 O-ring of the brass limiting valve position, the brass limiting valve position 41B. Use the limiting valve piston spanner wrench as shown with figure 19, page 46 to hold the limiting valve position 41B. Remove the 3/8 inch self-locking nut 37 diaphragm follower 38A and the diaphragm 39A. The threaded end of the base limiting valve portion in 41B. Scrap the diaphragm 39A. No, if you are required to use open wrench and holding limiting the valve position, piston 41B, from removing the self-locking nut 37. 720, remove the piston piston return spring 35 with the spring cage 34 and 34A of the body with the 47 with scrap metal with the spring cage 34 with the plastic spring cage 40 34A should not be scrapped unless it is damaged. Surface accelerated release valve, old standard SAR valve assembly. Note that 721, 728 ABDX surface valve body configuration A containing the old standard SAR assembly. Refer to figure 11, page 41. Remove the 1.5 by 2 3/4 inch hex head screw for the 17 with secure the surface of the accelerated release valve assembly 18 to 30 with the body of the 47. Remove the surface accelerated release valve cover of 18 where the shield 18 applicable to diaphragm position and assembly 1922 to or 19 to 22A as a unit from filling pieces 29 scrap where the shielding 18A if applicable. Remove the surface accelerated release valve piston diaphragm assembly 19 to 22 or 19 to 22A from this cover to 18. Using either accelerated release valve piston wrench, as shown in figure 20 with page 46 of the flat bar with the place in the slot with retaining the surface to create accelerated release valve piston 22 and 22A, remove the 9/16 of the hex end, 19 the diaphragm follower, 20 with the diaphragm 21 from the threaded end of the piston, the 22 and 22A, scrap the diaphragm 21 with the surface accelerated release valve position 22A that does not contain the plastic wear pellet. Note that do not scrap the surface accelerated release valve piston the 22 that does not contain the plastic wear pellet unless it is damaged and the plastic pellet is missing in piston 22. Note that the diaphragm follower has significant wear to the scrap diaphragm follower 20. Remove the surface position filling piece of the plunger with the check valve assembly, mounting gasket 23 to 30 as the unit of the body 47. Remove the scrap of the filling piece of the mounting gasket 30. Compressor, remove the spring seat 26 with the check valve spring 27. The accelerated release check valve 28 with the filling piece 29. Scrap the accelerated release check valve 28. Remove the surface accelerated release valve plunger with the O-ring 23 and 24 with the pushing it out of the cover and end of the filling piece of the 29. Remove the scrap of the 1 1/4 inch OD ring 24 with the plunger 23. Note the surface accelerated release valve plunger must be inspected with the per instruction outlined with the surface bulletin 68 and 23 have determined the plunger in 23 can be reused. Remove the scrap of the 11/16 of an inch OD ring from the groove with the filling pieces of 29. 729 to 733 ABDX surface valve body configuration control C with extends the new standard for the SAR valve assembly. Refer to figure 13 and 14, page 42. Warning: the surface accelerated release valve cover of the 59 is an under spring loaded with exercise care to deny parts inadvertently expelled from the assembly. Accidentally expelled parts may cause bodily injury. Remove the surface accelerated release valve cover of the 59 with the first removing the 1.5 by 1 1/2 the X head cap screws. Remove the scrap of the 9/16 of an inch OD ring gasket 61 from the cover 59. Remove the top of the cover 60 from the plastic cover 20 62. The diaphragm 63 on the front of the body 67. Scrap the diaphragm 63 with the note the plastic follower 62 should not be scrapped unless it is damaged. Remove the plastic piston 64 with the O-ring 65 with the assembly with the kick up with the spring 66 and the body of 67. Remove the scrap of the O-ring 65 with the plastic piston 64. Note the plastic piston 64 should not be scrapped unless it is damaged. Refer to figure 11, page 41. Retrieve the release valve portion 57 with the previous set aside with the clean and protected area. The release valve portion, refer to figure 15, page 44. Remove the 5 3/8 inch 1 and 1/2 inch hex head cap screws 1 which was secured to the top to cover 2. The release valve of the portion release body of 35. Remove the top of the cover 2 for the body of the 35. Remove the scrap of the 2.01 inch OD ring gasket 3 of the groove of the top cover. Move the 2 check valve springs of the box auxiliary emergency reserve check valve 13 with the 2 plastic check valve plungers 14 with the body 35 with the scrap of the 2 check valve 13. Note that the 2 plastic check valve plungers should be 14 should not be scrapped unless they are damaged. 37 13 to remove spool valve spring of the 14 with the total with the body 35. Remove the spool valve with the diaphragm assembly 5 and 11. The body 35 is until the carefully should be done to take on the spot. Spool valve removed with the bush so the seat end of the spool is not damaged in any way. So, in 41, remove the scrap of the 3 3/4 inch OD rings 11. The grooves on the spool valve 10. Using the open wrench to hold the spool valve 10. Remove the 3/8 inch selecting self-locking nut diaphragm follower to diaphragm 7. The piston with the O-rings 9 and 8 from the thread end of the spool valve 10. Removing the 1/2 inch OD ring 8 with the groove in the piston 9. Scrapping the OD ring O-ring 8 and diaphragm 7. 743, remove the scrap of the 3/16 of an inch, 2-inch cotter pound, 24 with the scrape, or secure with the leaf valve with the stem guard, 25 with the stem and end plate, the 27, remove the stem guard, 25, do not scrap the plastic stem guard, 25 unless it is cracked or broken. Warning, the bottom of the cover 31 is under spring load, exercise care with no parts inadvertently expelled from the assembly, accidentally expelled, may cause bodily injury, remove the 5 3/8 inch, 1 3/4 inch, X-heads, cap screws, 15 with the secure with the bottom cover of the valve, sleeve, exhaust seal, end of the plate assembly with the 27 to 33 with the body with the 35, remove the cover of the assembly from the body with the 35. 745, remove the stem and plate with the 27 bottom cover, the ply gasket 28 with the seal 30 with the over the 5/8 inch OD ring gasket 29 with the bottom of the cover 31, scrap both gaskets 28 and 29 for the seal 30. Remove the lifter with the 26 with the lifter spring 23 for the body with 35 notes with plastic lifter 26 should not be scrapped unless it is damaged. Remove the plastic sleeve with 34 with the bottom of the cover 31. Visual inspection plastic speed with 34 is either excessive wear or damage. The plastic sleeve 34 contains excessive wear or damage. If any of the fashion of the scrape, then scrap it and scrap the plastic sleeve 34. Alright, either drill or cut out of the head of 3/16 of an inch, 1/2 aluminum pop rivet, remove the rivet 33 and the seal 32, bottom of the cover 31, scrap with the bolt rivet 33 and 32, remove the retaining check valve with 20 into the spring 19 with the body 35, with scrap the check valve 20, remove the reset check valve with 22, with reset the check valve 21, and from the body 35, scrap the check valve 21, remove the reset spool valve with the O-ring 18 and 17, with reset the spool valve spring 16 from the body with 35, remove the scrap of the 3/4 inch OD ring 17 from the reset spool valve 18. Alright, then we're going to read the assembly, and then I'm going to do the ABDX-L, ABDX-LR, disassembly and portion assembly in a different tape. Alright, surface diaphragm, ABDX, ABDXR, surface portion assembly, surface diaphragm piston, refer to figure 11, page 41. Install the new surface piston, top of the ring 16B with the new surface piston, bottom ring 16B with the surface piston 16, note the surface piston 16A, but it does not contain the two machine groove with the wearing rings. The 16B must not be reused. And care should be taken when expanding and opening the wearing protection during installing the onto surface position. Do not overexpand the other rings, causing them to deform, which would result in difficult installation of the piston into the bore with the protective rings, but it must be installed with the gap facing the slide valve. The area of the surface portion, the position of the rings will ease and assemble the piston of the new diaphragm 6 of the surface piston 16, part of the number diaphragm 6 of the faces away from the piston 16, the position diaphragm B with the groove of the piston, flipping the diaphragm 6 from the larger cone-shaped opening in the face of the follower 5, the position of the diaphragm follower 5, and then the diaphragm 6 from the piston 16. Lightly, 8-4, lightly coat the threads of the 5/8 of an inch by 1 inch hex heads cap screws. Loctite sealant TL 24 2 with the Wabtec Corporation specification mills -07490 0749905. Install the cap screw 4 with the diaphragm follower 5. Then install the piston to secure the piston 16, the diaphragm 6, the follower 5 together. Hand tighten these cap screws, then tighten the minnow with a securely fastened the assembly to prevent leakage for the not excessively cause the distortion of piston threads for the diaphragm 6 for the opposite end, so that the large cone of the open with the face position piston 16. The note that the Wabtec recommendation torque gap the screws between 45 and 50 pounds. Refer to the surface bolts in at 6826 with the page 59 with the application triple valve on the specified part over the section 85 and 899. Applying evenly spread liberal coating with a triple valve oil with the Wabtec Corporation specification mill M-07611-20, AR specification mill 912, M912, the round with the other surface plastic spring guide 10 with note that the Wabtec recommends that using a clean foam tape swab applicator to apply the triple valve oil. Wabtec Corporation specification mill M07611-20, the AR specification M912, all required parts. Note the metal spring guide with the 10 must be not reused. A6, installing plastic spring guide with the 10, closing the end first to the open end of the surface position 16, installing the piston spring with the spring seat into the open end of the spring plastic spring guide with the 10 with the surface part with the installing the spring retainer 7. Place the slide of the valve spring without holding the fixture of the part numbers 564, 5222 as shown in the figure 18, page 46. Applying it evenly spread with liberal coating with the triple valve oil Wabtec Corporation specification M-07611-20 AR specification M912 with the facing of the graduating valve 14 with the graduating valve seat with the slide valve with the 15. Note the Wabtec recommendations of cleaning with the foam tip with the swab applicated triple valve oil Wabtec Corporation specification M-07611-20 AR specifications M-912 on both graduating face of the seat. Installing the graduating valve spring 13, the graduating valve 14, and the slide valve 15 on the piston 16. The graduating valve spring 13 remains in the proper position with both positions in the 16 graduating valve 14. 811, place the piston assembly with the slide valve spring 12, which still in the holding the fixture. 812, make sure the graduating valve 14 with the seat of the slide valve 15, the slide valve slide with the wings do not tighten in the fixture. Install 3 and 332 finish by 1 inch cylindrical spring pin 11 from through the pinhole for each of the wing through the side of the valve with the 15 aligned with the pinhole with the sliding valve spring 12 when the 8 of the pin driver supplied with the holding fixture part number 564522 secure the pin with 11 in place. Remove the assembly with the holding fixture. Extra care of the slide of the valve with the 15 with the face is not damaged or away. Refer to the service bulletin 68 and 26 page 59 application of the triple valve on specified parts and specifications sections 815 through 820. Apply evenly spread with liberating code of the triple valve oil Wabtec Corporation specification M-07611-20 AR specification M912 over the surface of the live valve 15 over the outer face of the area on both of the top of the wearing protecting ring 16B and the surface position 16. They also liberal coating with the triple valve oil specifically leave the sliding with the valve seat entirely in the internal wall of the main painting position bushing in the body of 14 of collars and fins and piston near the piston head and the Wabtec recommends using cleaning the foam tip of the Wab select the swab applicator to apply the triple valve oil Wabtec Corporation specification M-07611-20 AR specification 912 on all required parts. Important care must be taken to compressing the graduating valve of the slide valve of the preparation and inserting the surface piston assembly with the guide ring 7 to 16B into the body bushing while using minimal force. Assembly must be aligned surface lead to prevent the wedging and distortion. Slide valve face of the 15B retracted from the bushing face for as long as possible. There must be taken no damage to the slide valve face. Applying the force of the slide valve spring while inserting the surface piston assembly into the body bushing is not recommended. Installing the piston diaphragm slide valve the 7 to 16B into the body 47 of the top. Exercising care no damage to be done to the slide valve seat of the body bushing. 817. Using only a finger thumb brush pressure position the ceiling bead diaphragm 60 the diaphragm being the bead groove at the top of the cover mounting on the top of the body 47 818. Install the new 1 and 1/16 inch OD ring gasket in the groove at the top of the cover 2. 819. Applying lighting code to the brake cylinder lubricant M914 compound consisting of 1 part graphite Wabtec specification M0769502 AR specification M913 2 parts of the SAE 20 and by weight to the threads of all 4 1/2 inch 1 3/4 inch hex head scap screws. Install a new identification tag of 1A through the bottom of one of the 4 hex cap screws. 1. Carefully position the top of the cover to 2 and 3 with the proper position body of 47 of the bottom. Bevel identification tag 1A must be located in a special location shown in figure 11, page 41. Install the tightening by the hand of all 4 1/2 by 1 3/4 inch hex head cap screws. Secure fasten all the 4 hex head cap screws to prevent leakage, not excessively distortion to cover the gasket. Note the Wabtec recommendations for the top cover the fastening method. Ensure all the 4 hex head caps and screw have been hand tightened fat listed. First, and lock directly on the top of the side of the surface top cover the partially torque of all the 4 hex head scap screws between 12 to 16 pounds in the following order: 7 o'clock position, 1 o'clock position, 5 o'clock position, 11 o'clock position. The following same tightening sequence. Retorque all the 4 hex head cap screws to the body between 35 and 45 foot-pounds. Lastly, all the final torque with the 4 hex head caps or screws between 35 and 55 foot-pounds in with the following specific order: 1 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and 5 o'clock positions. Note: metal identification P tag or vibration protection tag 1B no longer required for the service portion after April 1st, 2007. 820, applying evenly spread a liberal coating of the triple valve oil. Wabtec Corporation specification M0761120, AR specification 912. Run the collar on each event in the plastic spring cage 34A. The note the Wabtec recommendations: cleaning of the tip of the with the swab applicated to apply the triple valve oil. Wabtec Corporation specification M0761120, AR specification M912 are required parts. The metal spring cage 34 must not be reused. Install the piston return springs 35 with the plastic spring cage 34 with the install the cage with the spring with 34 and 35 until the unit and body 47 with the assembly of 34 and 34A and 35 goes over and around the end of the shaft of the piston, which has already been installed with the body of the 47. Limiting valve, brass style limiting valve piston with 3 O-rings. The 821, assembling quick service valve with exhaustive choke with 51 with the bottom of the body 47. Now refer to the alternating configuration limiting valve figure 11, page 41, step 822 through 826. A position new diaphragm 39 for the brace limiting valve with the position 41B, so that the flat surface of the diaphragm will show on the part of the number faces away for the piston toward the thread end. Lightly coat the threads with the brass limiting valve piston 41B with the Loctite sealant TL2422 the Warbow Corporation Inspection M10749905. Using limiting valve spanner wrenches shown in figure 19, page 46, to hold the piston and 41B into the diaphragm follower 38A with the 3/8 of inch 16 hex knots 37 with the thread end of the brace limiting valve with the piston 41B. Tighten the nut 37 in the manner securely fasten assembly to prevent leakage yet not excessively direct distortion of the threads. Note that the Wabtec recommendation torquing nut 37 between 9 and 12 pounds. If you're required to use an open-ended wrench to hold the brass limiting valve portion while 41B without installing the hex nut 37, using a number 2 silicone grease Wabtec Corporation specification M0768002 lubricating surface with the new O-rings 40B with the light lubricating with the O-rings of the shaft of the brass limiting the valve of the piston 41B with the internal wall limiting valve bushing into the body 47. Note that the Wabtec recommendation cleaning the foam tip with the swab applicated to apply the number 2 silicone grease with Wabtec Corporation specification M0766002 the both of the O-rings of the brass limiting valve piston 41B with the internal wall limiting valve bushing body 47. Carefully install the 3 new lubricated O-rings on 40B with the grooves on the passing limiting valve of the piston 41B. Install the piston diaphragm assembly 37 to 41B with lubricated limiting valve with the bushing to the body 47 O-ring. And first, be sure that the diaphragm 39A is the properly seated with the groove of the body with the 47 the finger pressure for the seat and the diaphragm bead. Installing the limiting valve with the spring 36A, the open end of the brass limiting valve piston with 41B on the diaphragm follower 38A. 826.1, using the number 2 silicone grease, the Wabtec specification M0768002 lubricating surface for the new O-rings 40 and 40A. Also lightly lubricated the O-ring groove, the plastic limiting valve stem 41, as well as the internal wall of the limiting valve bushing of the body 47 of the new Wabtec recommends using cleaning foam type fitted swab applicator to apply the number 2 silicone grease. Wabtec Corporation specification M0768002 O-ring of the plastic limiting valve stem 41 with the internal walls limiting valve bushing in the body 47. Installing lubricated 932s from the OD ring 40 with a new lubricated 7032's end of inch OD ring 40A into their proper groove of the plastic limiting valve stem. 41. Installing the ring 41 with the lubricating valve with the bushing body with the 47 inserting limiting valve stem with the 40 to 44A, 40A, and 41 limiting valve bushing on the top of the spring 41A. 826.4, the position of the new diaphragm 39 with the top of the limiting valve stem, the assembly 40, 40A, and 41, so that the flat surface of the new diaphragm should show the part number, and facing away from the stem, use the finger to properly see the diaphragm 39 with the bead the groove of the body. And plastic diaphragm follower 38, the top of the new diaphragm 39, install the spring 36 in this plastic diaphragm follower 38. The back check flow valve. Install a new back check flow valve 32 with the check valve spring 33 with the proper cavity in the body 37. The service body configuration control C. Figure 1314, page 42 contains the new standard SAR valve assembly. Does not require the use of the both and backflow check valve 32, check valve spring 33 in the body 67. Install a new 3/8 inch OD ring gasket and the new 2-inch OD ring gasket and the new 11/16 inch OD ring gasket at 44 in their groove. The other bottom cover the 45. The bottom cover the 45A contains a one exhaust port and must not be reused. 829. Applying a light coated brake cylinder lubricant compound consisting of 1 part graphite specification AR specification 9M913 2 parts of oil SAE 20. The weight of the threads of all 4 1/2 into 1/4 inch hex head cap screws carefully position the body cover the 42 to the 45 on the body 47, making sure that all the ring gaskets assembly bottom of the properly in place. Secure the bottom of the cover 45 to the body 47, installing the 4 1/2 to 1/4 inch hex head cap screws 31 with the manner securely fastening the cover to prevent leakage for the not excessively cause the distortion of the cover of the gasket. Note the Wabtec recommendation torque when the 4 cap screws 31 to 35 to 55 pounds. ABDX service proportion previously had bottom cover for the 45A, but contains only 1 exhaust port. May need the previous modification reversed from the bodies 47. The service body 47 contains either a spliced brass choke with a vent protector for the ABDX umbrella fitting the assembly located directly below the bottom of the right stud hole on the body 47. And either the 2 assembly must be removed from the body 47. Either these 2 fittings must be replaced with an alien head plug or a number that is threaded directly into the body 47. Or your service accelerated release valve, old standard SAR valve 830 through 840 of the service assembly configuration control A that contains the old standard of the service accelerated release valve, for figure 1112, figure 11, page 41. Install new accelerated release check valve within the service portion of the filling piece. Install the check valve with the spring with the filling piece so that it checks from the valve. Then install the spring seat with the retained parts in place. Place the new filling spring for the gasket. It contains the 2 brass and the reinforced plates for the service portion filling piece for the piston body 47. Applying light coat with the number 2 silicone graphite Wabtec Corporation specification M0768002 with the surface of new 1/4 inch OD rings 24 with a light lubricated O-ring with the surface accelerated. Releasing the valve plunger 23 with the internal wall of the plunger, bushing of the filling piece of the 29. Note the Wabtec recommendation: cleaning the foam tip of the wall so that Wab applicator was applied with the number 2 split silicone grease. Wabtec Corporation specification MIL 076802 with the O-ring with the internal wall of the plunger, bushing of the filling of the piece 29. Note each plunger of the 23 must comply with the inspector procedure outlined with Wabtec service bulletin 6823 with before being used with the smallest diameter end of the plunger within 23. Install the new lubricated 1/4 inch OD ring 24 into the groove with the short end of the service accelerated release valve plunger. Then install the plunger with the O-ring 23 and 24 with the filling piece 29 longer end of the plunger first. Alright, 835, using the accelerated release valve piston spanner wrench is shown in figure 20 with the page 46 for the flat bar with the place in the slot 1 to serve the accelerated release valve piston 22. Install a new diaphragm 21 through and onto piston 22 with the part number of the diaphragm faces away from the plat piston toward the thread end. Note that the service accelerated release valve piston 22A that does not contain the plastic wear of the pellet must not be reused. Install the diaphragm follower 20 with a light load of light coats and threads with the surface accelerated release valve piston. The Loctite with the Sullivan TL242 with Corporation specification M0749905. Then install the 9/16 of 18 hex by 18 hex nuts 19 with the thread end of the piston 22 with the hex and the hex nut 19 with the manner of the screw with the fastened diaphragm to prevent the leakage of the yet not exclusively cause distortion from the piston threads. Note Wabtec recommends torquing a hex nut 19 between 30 to 40 foot-pounds. Note diaphragm follower 20 must being used must not contain no significant damage or wear. Install the diaphragm piston assembly 19 to 22 of the piston end for the filling piece of the 29. Be sure that the bead of the diaphragm is properly seated with the groove of the filling of the piece of the 29. The finger of the pressure properly seated with the diaphragm bead. Install the new wear shield of the 18A over the hex 19 with the wear shield. Wear shield lies with the flower 20 with the note that the head held in place from the remaining of the body with 47 has been positioned. Wear shield with the 18A with the remains in place while installing the cover. Install the new 11/16" O-ring ring gasket 25 in the groove, covering the mounting of the face of the filling piece. Apply the light coating of the brake cylinder lubricant M914 with compound consisting of one of the part graphite Wabtec specification M076950 with the AR specification M913. 2 parts SAE 20 weight of the threads of all the 4 1/2 inch, 2 3/4 inch hex head cap screw 17 placed for the service of an accelerated release valve cover 18 position of filling cap piece and 29 be sure to move all the parts properly positioned using the 4 1/2 2 3/4 inch hex head cap screws 7 secure the cover and the filling piece with assembly 18 and 20 with the body with the 4 T7 with the tighten the 4 cap screws in 17 manner with the securely fastened cover of the assembly to prevent leakage. And successfully to cover the distortion cover in the gaskets. Note the Wabtec recommendation torquing the 4 hex had cap screw 17 and between 35 and 55 pounds. Are your service accelerated release valve new standards service accelerated release valve assembly. 841 through 849 service valve body configuration control sheet that contains the new standard of the service accelerated release valve assembly. Refer to figure 14, page 42. Install the kick-up spring 66 in the proper position on the body 67. Apply the light coating and number 2 silicone graphic grease Wabtec Corporation specification M0768002. The surface of the new 1/4 inch OD ring 65 with the O-ring cover groove the new plastic piston 64. Also apply the light coating with number 2 silicone grease internal bushing of the wall of the O-ring of the 65 contacts. Body 67. Note that the Wabtec Corporation recommends cleaning the foam tape of the swab applicator with applied to number 2 silicone grease. The Wabtec Corporation specification M0768002 with the ring groove piston ring groove with the plastic piston 64. The internal bushing wall of which were the O-ring 65 contacts. 843. The installing a new lubricated core 1/4 inch OD O-ring is a groove with the plastic piston 64. Installing the piston of the O-ring and the 64, 65 respective bushing in the body 67. Installing the new diaphragm 63 into the body 67. Using ensure that the head of the diaphragm 63 is properly seated in the groove of the body 67. Installing the plastic follower the 62 with the top of the center diaphragm 63. Install the spring with the 60 of the plastic follower 62. Install the number new 9 16 inch OD ring gasket 61 with the groove of the cover 59. 848. Applying a light coating of the brake cylinder lubricant M914 with the compound consisting of 1 part graphite Wabtec specification M07950 AR specification M913 2 parts oil SA 20 with the weight of the 3 of all 4 to the 1/2 into 1/4 1/2 and by 1 1/2 hex head cap screws 58. Place service accelerated release valve portion 59 position of the body of the 67. Be sure that all the parts properly positioned using the 4 1/2 hex head cap screws. Secure the cover of the 59 to the body 67. Tighten the 4 hex head cap screws 58 with the manner securely fasten the cover of the assembly. Prevent the leakage of the excessively distortion the cover of the gasket. Wabtec recommendation torquing all the 4 of the hex head cap screws 58 with the 55 pounds. Alright, 850 release valve portion assembly. Refer to figure 15 for the page 44. 850 using number 2 silicone grease. Wabtec Corporation specification M0768002 with the O-rings groove with the reset spool valve. 18 with the lubricated both the internal wall of the reset spool valve bushing in the body. 35 surfaces of all 3 new 3/4 inch OD OD O-rings. 17 with the Wabtec recommends cleaning the foam tip of the swab applicator to apply the number 2 silicone grease Wabtec Corporation specification. All the O-rings that reset the spool valve into the walls of the reset spool valve bushing. Installing 3 new lubricated OD 3/4 inch OD rings into the respective groove of the reset the spool valve with wiping any excessive grease of the reset spool valve assembly 17 and 18. However, leave the lubricated label coating with its number 2 silicone grease the M0768002. Each of the 3 O-rings 17. Note the Wabtec recommendation clean with the dry lint with the cloth removing any of these excessive lubrication. Install the reset valve spring 16 with the reset spool with the O-rings assembly 17 and 18 and the lubricated bushing with the release valve 15. Install the lifter spring 23 of the plastic lifter 26 with the proper cavity of the release valve 38 5. Install the new reset check valve 21 with the check valve spring 22 with the proper cavity of the release valve body 35. Install the check valve spring with a 19 with the new retaining valve check valve throw 20 with the proper cavity to release valve body. 3 retaining check valve is located with the bottom of the cover 31. Install the plastic sleeve 34 with the screw new saw. 32 with the new 3/16 of an inch through 1/2 inch aluminum pop rivet 33 on the bottom cover 31. Note that ensure the plastic sleeve 34 contains the new significant wear of the not damaged in 857. Install the new valve seat 30 and the valve seal 30 and stem and end plate 27 with the new 5/8 inch OD ring gasket 29 and the new bottom cover of the gasket 28 and the place for the bottom cover 31. Alright, applying a light coat of brake cylinder lubricant M914 with a compound consisting of 1 part graphite weight specification AR specification 91 M913 2 parts oil SA20 with the weight of the threads of all 5 3/8 inch 1 3/4 inch axe head cap screws carefully position the bottom cover of the assembly 27 to 34 on the body of the 35 without applying heavy pressure, then inserting the 5 3/8 inch of the 1 3/4 inch axe head cap screws with the check of the valve of the seat of the cover of the 31. Also be sure to reset the check valve spring 22 with the properly positioned cover of the 31. The hand press cover and the hand press of the cover 31 to the body 35 with the skirted place equally tighten the 5 3/8 inch by 1 3/4 inch X-headed gap screws in the manner of the securely fastened cover of the assembly to prevent the leakage, yet never not excessively cause the distortion and cover the tap threads of the Wabtec recommendation, torquing the 5 cap screws between 15 and 25 pounds. Using number 2 silicone Wabtec Corporation specification M07680002, like coat surface with the new 112 OOD ring 8 and 3 new 3/4 inch OD O-rings. 11. The O-rings groove to release the spool of the valve 10 with the new number 2 silicone grease. Light lubricating the internal wall of the release spool valve bushing body of the 35. Wabtec recommends using a clean foam to the tip of the swab applicator and the number 2 silicone grease to the O-rings of the groove into the release spool valve 10 with the internal wall to release of the spool valve bushing body 35. 860 using the opening of the bridge to hold the release spool valve install the position and open the thread end of the release valve spool valve. Install the new lubricated 1/2 and OD O-rings, the plate for the piston. Install the new diaphragm 7 and the new part of the diaphragm face away from the piston forward to the thread end of the release valve spool valve. Inside the diaphragm valve of the thread end with the release valve spool valve, light coat the threads of the release spool valve with Loctite sealant TL242. Install the 3/8 inch 16 hex nut on thread end of the release valve tighten in the manner securely fasten the nut 5 to the release spool valve 10 to back brake to prevent leakage yet not successfully cause distortion of the threads. Note the Wabtec recommendation torque then hex nut 5 between 10 to 12 pounds. Install a new lubricated 3/4 inch OD O-rings into the 3 O-ring groove to release the spool of the valve 10 with which wipe off the extremes of the release of the spool valve assembly 10 and 11. Or leave the liberal coating of the number 2 silicone grease on each of the 3 O-rings. The Wabtec recommends using a clean, dry, lint-free cloth to remove the excessive lubricant. Install the diaphragm piston assembly 511 to the body with the 35. Be sure the the bead of the diaphragm 57 properly seated with the bead of the groove on the body 35. To use the finger to measure the pressure to seat the bead of the groove. Install the release of the spool valve spring with the 4 in the body of 35 so that the seat of the diaphragm follows 6. Install the plastic emergent auxiliary reserve check valve plungers 14 to the proper cavities in the body 35. Install the new check valve 13 with the body of 35 with the top of the 2 plastic plungers 14. Install the 2 check valve 12 with the new note the position of the check valve spring so that they can center in the top of the new check valves. 868 install the new 1 inch OD ring gaskets into their grooves at the top of the cover. 869 apply a light coating of the brake cylinder lubricant M914 compound consisting of 1 part graphite and AR specification M913 and 2 parts SAEL20 weight of the threads of the 5 3/8 inch 1 and 1/2 inch hex head cap screws 1 carefully place the top cover over the 2 and 3 onto the body of 35 being sure that the spring of the 4 inch 12 properly positioned the spring cavity of the cover the secure the top cover of the 2 to the body of 35 and installing the 5 3/8 inch 1.5 inch hex headed cap screws 1 tighten the 5 cap screws in the manner of securely fasten the top of the cover of the 2 3 to prevent the leakage of the yet not successfully cause distortion of the cover of the gasket. Note Wabtec recommendation recommends torquing the 5 cap screws 1 between 15 and 25 pounds. Or refer to Figure 11, page 41. Install the new wire mesh for screens 56 with the proper location. Release valve portion body of 57. Note: the pre-clean wire mesh filter screens must be placed in auxiliary reserve, emergency reserve, retainer ports. Install the new 7/8 inch OD ring gasket 54 with the new 13/16 OD ring gasket into the groove on the mounting face of the release valve portion. Place the release valve portion 57 on the surface body, 47 the mesh secure in place by the installation figure 3/3/8 inch flash and flange hex nuts 52. Tighten the 3 hex nuts 52 in the manner securely fasten the release valve portion 57 and 47 to prevent leakage but not accessible to cause distortion in threads. Note the Wabtec recommends torquing the 3 hex nuts 52 between 11 and 30 foot-pounds. For the Figure 6 on page 34 with the Figure 15 on page 44. Release valve stem guard 25 is installed, but after the surface position has been tested using new 3/16 2-inch counter 24 when installing the guard 25. Note that the ABDXL and ABDXRL surface valve portions have been cleaned, oiled, and tested. Must contain either the name tag of the painted stencil that indicates the date of the recognition, the 2-digit month, 2-digit year, shop, the identification nameplate used. The must be located with the specific hex head cap screw as in shown in Figure 11, page 41. The paint of the stencil is used with the specific information described above to be shown in 1/2 inch minimum height letters of the valve body. Alright, Chapter 9, ABDX, ABDXR, ABDXL, ABDXR, emergency portion disassembly.